There we go. So those that are going to be watching this from the video, or later when you watch it too. So we'll break down the Dipping Bird series. And the reason I said if you have 2 blocks, what we would do, and you don't have to have 2 blocks. When we come into the Dipping Bird, we've got our baby toe and heels lined up, and we're coming into a twist. If you have 2 of them, you can take your block a little bit off. So if we're going to twist to the left, your block can come a little bit toward that left foot. So when you put your hand on the block, you can sort of extend the chest open perhaps a little more if your hand is a little bit toward that left leg versus just in the middle. But you can do that with 1 block. You can just kind of move your block to, and whether your hand comes up or stays here, your head usually looking down. Of course, when we get into it, your opposite foot will be rotated out. Now, the one thing about this particular one, I will say, I'm guilty of this myself. There's 2 things. One, if you have a lot of roundness in your back and you tend to round, you might want to soften your knees and think of lifting your tailbone and extending through your collarbones. Now, in my case, I tend to arch in my back. My rib cage comes out. And then when you go to twist, that's not what you want. So you want to drop that tailbone, pull the rib cage in and think of extending through the collarbones and then opening. So just be aware of whether you're slouching through the back a bit or whether you tend to arch here, you might be really tight, and just taking the hamstrings out and extending might help that. The other thing that we'll do, of course, is when we come up onto our toes. Again, you can do this with 1 block. It's just a little easier with 2. When we're going to actually be holding in each one of these positions here. So you can be up on the ball mounts of the toes. Now, if you've had ankle issues or toe surgeries or whatever, you might not be able to come up that high. See what it is for you. You can keep your chest lifted, or you can drop the elbows in toward the body. Now, this puts more of a balance and a little bit more pressure into the legs. So you can decide what you want to do there. And then we'll be turning the heels in and squatting down and holding. I want you to reach your arms out. And so you're really holding into this squat from this angle. You're holding into this squat. We'll just take a few breaths here. Because really every asana that we go through in this Dipping Bird series, you'll be able to feel the muscles that you're really using, because there's a lot going on. And usually we're kind of just flying through it. But you'll be able to really feel the muscles involved there. So I think other than that, the other things we're going to be doing, you won't have any issue with, I'm sure, in seeing what's next. So you go ahead and find your comfortable position for your pranayama. Just find that place. I clip my bangs back so they won't hang in my face. Take whatever movement you'd like. And I'm just going to invite you to just allow yourself to connect with the furthest sound away from you. Just notice. And then begin to bring the awareness of the sounds that might be closer into your awareness, nearer to you. Notice the temperature of your room. And just take a moment to first bring your conscious attention just to the space in between your eyebrows. Feeling that area just soften and broaden. And just be aware, and especially if you're very tired, to be aware of just allowing your brain to soften. And we don't necessarily need to resist anything. If it's one of those days we're not going to push ourselves too much, practice a ahimsa, whatever that might be for you. Allow your awareness just to come to the base of your head and your neck, and just feel your chin become parallel to the floor, or just slightly tucked in if you're on your back. If you can draw your awareness to the notch in your throat, and just float down to your heart center right there in the center of your chest. Feel your shoulders gently drift back. And as you follow your next inhalation, just set the intention to breathe in a feeling of calm. And as you exhale, just let go of anything that maybe has been weighing on you, anything that you've been going through, or just the busyness of life. Just feel yourself softly let go and inhale that feeling of calm. And just float your conscious attention down to your navel. And continue observing the breath, this time noticing the belly extending out as you take those inhalations, and noticing the navel drawing in toward the spine as you take your exhalations. Trying not to move the breath up into the chest at this point. And still breathe in a feeling of calm. Especially if we've been really wired up, it might take us several breaths before we start feeling that calm. See if you can soften your jaw. And then draw your awareness down to your hips. Just gently let go, and when you're ready to follow an exhale, let your awareness just slide down through the legs. Check in with your knees, your ankles, the tops of your feet, your toes, making whatever adjustments you might need. And let's just invite our breath to deepen and move into Dirshwasam. So if you take a nice slow exhalation on that next inhale, just feel the belly lift out again, but then bring the remainder of the breath into the rib cage and behind the collarbones. And allow everything just to float back down until lastly you can feel your navel drawing in. Notice how the breath is gently passing over the back of your throat. Go ahead and create your Ujjayi breath, or silently say saw with each inhale, ha with each exhale. Let yourself just feel the vibration in the throat, hear the sound of your voice, or your breath, I should say, and just be present. Fully present. Where we become present, there's a harmony that happens in the mind, the body, in relation with the breath. Let's just take that a little further and do a few rounds of Nadi Shodhana. So if you take a nice, slow exhalation and just close off your right nostril with your right thumb, slowly inhale through your left nostril whenever you're ready. Close off with your ring finger, and whenever you feel ready, let your exhale come back out the right side, just to equal with the breath. Breathe back into the right side when you're ready. Closing off with your thumb and letting your exhalation come out the left when you're ready, just to complete your round. And then let yourself just float into the next one. However, this time with intention to perhaps feel the coolness in the back of the nasal passage as you're inhaling, and being mindful of the gentle pause at the end of your breath. As you follow the exhalation, be mindful of the gentle pause of your exhalation. Keeping the jaw relaxed, keeping the shoulders soft, noticing the space in between your eyebrows. Find yourself coming back around to your left nostril, where you're going to follow that exhalation. Once you get there, allow your hand to float down. There's no hurry, so if you just started that round, enjoy it, be present. When your hand does float down, just let go and observe any after effects of your pranayama. Observe your breath, and remember to practice ahimsa as you go through your practice. Non-harm, just by being fully present, it'll help you to notice what's going on in the body, what's going on in the mind. And I invite any of you that are on your back, if you'll bring yourself on up into a seated position and just find a place where you can feel your shoulders stacked over your hips. Find a place for your knees and legs that are comfortable. If you can sit in Sukhasana, great. If you need to have your feet out and your soles of your feet together, that is fine. What I'm going to invite you to do is place your hands on top of your knees. We're going to stretch down one side of the back and then the other. So we're going to take a nice full inhalation, bringing our awareness all the way up to the crown of our head. Now, as you go to exhale, turn to your left and bring your right shoulder as though you're going to bring it over to your left knee, and gently turn your head to the left. You're going to inhale right back to the center when you're ready, just at your rhythm of breath. When you're ready to take your next exhale, turn your navel over and your left shoulder over to the right knee. Turn your head softly to the right. And I invite you just to float from side to side like that. Remember, you're just warming up the body, so only go as far as you feel comfortable, because it's coming right down through one side of the back and into your hip. Take your time, and when your left shoulder comes over to the right knee, I invite you to just lift yourself back to the center and just pause there with your eyes closed. Feel your shoulders drop down, and then turn your palms up and lift the arms straight up out of your shoulders. Once again, check in, let the shoulders soften away from your ears. Have your arms as straight as you can. Notice your low back. Adjust whatever you might need to be comfortable there. Little fingers are slightly turned toward one another, and your fingers are spread wide. And just take a nice full inhalation all the way up to the middle fingertips. And as you go to exhale, pull your belly in first to the right and twist to the right. Let your right hand come behind you, left hand comes on your knee, and your head gently turns to the right. And then you're going to inhale back to the center. And of course, when you're ready, you're going to exhale to the left. Activate the core. Let it begin with the navel drawing in. Going to continue on. We can easily just kind of swing the arms without really being aware of the core involved. So I'm going to invite you, when you end up coming to your left the next time, we're going to be bringing the arms straight up out of our shoulders again and pausing there. Be sure that your shoulders soften away from your ears once you do get there. Now, keeping the arms extended, I invite you to bring your feet out and allow the soles of your feet to come together, and your legs are in a diamond shape. Lift your knees up, take a deep breath in, and then exhale over your legs, bringing the arms toward the feet. It may not be at the feet, and that's fine, but inside the legs, as the legs are lifted up toward the body. Now just bring your awareness to your belly, and as you take an exhalation, just feel the belly hollow out. And as you take an inhalation, let the breath lift up and broaden that space in between the shoulder blades. Perhaps as you're following your breath, you can begin to let your knees fall down toward the floor, which is going to stretch further into the outer hip and across the sacrum area of the low back. Some of you can drop your chin all the way down to your chest, and if you're comfortable with that, go right ahead. We're going to let ourselves have one more full inhale. When you're ready to exhale, feel your bandhas activate, and then lift your chest first and just walk your hands back. You'll gently close your legs when you come back, and then we're going to come into a standing position with our feet wide apart. So you take your time, have your block or blocks available for you. So when we get to that, you're going to take your feet where your toes are turned out, because we're just going to gently lunge from side to side. You can have the hands up on the knees. You can even have them on your blocks if you want, or you can have your hands on the floor. I just want you to feel into the inner thighs, into each hip and your knees, of course, being mindful of those. So only lunge to the degree that you feel okay. Let your head release to whatever degree is okay with your body. If you need to keep your chest lifted so that your head doesn't hang, that's fine. So we'll be working a lot through the hips, through the spine. So again, practicing ahimsa, what feels right for you today. Let's come to the center of our bodies, and if you have two blocks, put your hand on each block. Pick up your toes and roll your toes in so you have your baby toe and your heel aligned. Otherwise, you just have your hands on one block. Now, just softly bend your elbows and lean in towards your body. Just breathing here for a moment. See if you can lift up on your toes and set your toes back down, and just shift your weight a little bit forward into your feet and have a slight internal rotation of your legs, like you're drawing the legs toward the back wall. So let yourself have a nice full exhalation, and I'm going to invite you to lift your chest up so you can have that nice full long. Take your right hand, or move your block over, take your right hand onto the left block, and you're going to open up. We're going to leave our feet just where they are right now and just feel the twist of opening. Notice your back. Do you need to drop the tailbone, or do you need to lift the tailbone? Let your head softly turn down toward the hand on the block, just to release through the neck. And if your hand isn't lifted and at your low back, that's fine. As you exhale, feel your belly draw in. Take another inhalation, and then as you go to exhale, come right back to the center, folding in towards your body. Softly let go of the neck and the shoulders. Shift the weight gently forward into the feet, just so you're lining up your buttocks more with your heels, so you don't sink back into your heels. We're letting the spine decompress here. We're letting the muscles of the hamstring go, and we're allowing fresh oxygenated blood to come up into the head. Now, if you get too dizzy, you can always keep your chest parallel to the floor. We're going to take one more exhalation, and then we're going to lift our chest. We're going to move our hand over toward the left, or to the right, excuse me. And when you're ready, open up either the shoulder, think of the shoulder opening first, as though you're going to draw your heart center up toward the ceiling as best you can. If the arm comes up, fine. If it doesn't, because your shoulder really won't open completely up, fine. You just keep the hand at the low back. Check in with how comfortable you are in the low back, and try to keep most of your weight in your feet, not in your hand. It's on the block. Take another deep breath in. As you go to exhale, gently unwind. So this time when we go to do the twist, we're going to add our feet. So if your feet are too wide, you might need to bring them in just a little bit. So let's take an exhalation. We're going to move our hand over toward the left foot, our right hand, lift the spine, rotate the right toes out, and now open. Check in with the back, pause here. Pick what's the right place for you. Feel that you're not putting too much weight into your hand. As you exhale, feel the belly draw in. Softly turn your head toward the block. Notice the stretch coming down through your right leg. You're going to take another deep breath in. As you go to exhale, just pick up your right toes, roll them in, fold back over. Hands back on the block, let your head hang in. Feel yourself soften. Notice the space in between your eyebrows, your jaw. You'll take one more nice full exhalation. When you're ready, inhale, lift through the chest, nice extension. Let your left hand move toward the right foot. Pick up the toes of the left foot, and then extend through the spine and open up. Checking in with the low back, letting your head softly turn toward the hand on the block. But feeling each time you exhale, being aware of pulling the belly in. Notice this left leg that, compared to the right one when you were twisting it out. Let's take one more deep breath in. As we go to exhale, we're going to unwind. Letting the hands just come onto one block or two, whatever you have. We're going to inhale up onto the ball mounts of our toes now and pause there. Only come up to what you feel okay with. And remember, you can have your chest completely parallel with the arms completely straight and breathing there, or you can bend the elbows and fold in towards your legs. You can feel how we're working through the feet, the calves, all the way up through the shins, but in the back of the legs as well. Take another deep breath in. As you go to exhale, let your heels come toward the center, because we're going to drop our hips now, like we're going to squat down. Now reach your arms out. You can have them resting on the block. You can have them off the block, whatever works. And almost as though you're doing an extended child's pose with your knees wide apart, that kind of a feeling. You can feel the intercostal muscles of the rib cage stretch here. You're working into the groin. Breathing here as I explain this next one. This is the one where we're going to round up, pulling up from our belly as we draw the hands toward the belly. So let yourself have a nice deep breath in, and as you go to exhale, pull the belly up, draw the hands to the belly, let your head remain down, and draw the hands up toward the heart. You're going to bring the shoulders and stack them. Keep your head down in case you're feeling any lightheadedness from hanging over. Inhale the arms up. When you're ready, you can lift your head. Turn your heels out. Draw the arms back behind you, activating the arm muscles, the back triceps. Take an exhalation and dip over. We're going to pause here. So you're in a wide leg forward fold. baby toe and heels are aligned. It's almost like you're trying to lift your baby fingers up toward the ceiling, but you can feel your triceps, the back of the arms, active, engaged, if you will. You can feel the hamstrings here, the spine decompressing. And you can have bent knees through this too. Now, keeping the arms where they are, if you can, bring your heels in because you're going to squat back down. Squat down, leave your arms where they are. Now swing your arms through to the ears and then lift your chest up. You're coming into horse with the arms extended. You can drop your head if you need to. Find that your toes and knees are turned out, your arms are extended. Drop the tailbone if you're overarching in the back. Oh, this is a fun one, isn't it? You can feel that in your inner thighs. Take another deep breath in. As we go to exhale, draw the arms back, kick your heels out. Pause in that dipping bird again. Can you feel the muscles of the arms activate? Can you soften the head and feel the stretch through the hamstrings? And again, bent knees is okay if that's what you need. Now bring your hands down onto your block again. Inhale up onto your toes and see if you can pause there, either letting the body come in toward the legs or lifting the chest parallel. We're going to take another deep breath in. You're going to turn your heels in, lower the hips so you're squatting. Now, if you can, arms are going to hang by the ears, but you're going to pull up from the belly. If that's too much, bring the hands to the belly. Slowly lifting up, let your chin soften down, let your shoulders stack over your hips. Once your arms are fully extended, open the hands and bring them diagonally out from the shoulders. Lift your head, close your eyes, feel your fingers wide apart. Take a nice deep breath in and exhale your hands up and over your head, and you can just open your eyes if you like. We're going to start from the beginning. Take another deep breath in, exhale and squat down back in. So pause here, find that horse, notice your low back. Inhale and open wide. Kick your heels out and exhale into that forward fold. Now you can use your blocks or not now, whichever you prefer. We're going to lift our chest, let our right hand come over toward that left foot, rotate the right toes out and open up to the left. Pause there again. Let your head just gaze down toward the mat. You're going to take another deep breath in. As you go to exhale, pick up your toes, fold all the way in toward the body, bent knees or straight. Notice if you're carrying any tension in your neck and be mindful of just softening. You take one more exhalation. When you're ready, inhale and extend through the spine. Left hand's going to move over toward that right foot, and you're going to rotate the left toes out as you open up the right shoulder. Let your head soften down toward the mat. Be aware of not putting all the pressure in your left hand, but back into your feet. Feel the belly drawing in. Take another deep breath in. When you're ready to exhale, pick up the toes, unwind, come back into your forward fold. Now we're going to come up onto the toes and pause there if you can, right up onto the ball mounts of the toes. Again, folding in toward the legs or keeping the chest lifted. Take a deep breath in and then just rotate your heels in. We're going to squat down and create that extension in the spine. We're going to reach the arms out as though we're doing an extended child's pose, reaching down into the groins, the inner thighs. Let yourself have a nice deep breath in. And when you're ready, activate your core. Exhale, pull the belly in, the hands toward the belly. Start slowly bringing yourself up. Keep your chin down for a moment if you get lightheaded. Extend the arms. Kick your heels out when you're ready and exhale into your dipping bird. So you're going to pull those arms back. Feel the triceps engage and pause there. Soften the neck. And just gently bring the heels in. Drop the hips again. Inhale up into horse. Pausing in your horse position. Take another deep breath in. As you go to exhale, let your hands come back behind you. Kick your heels out, folding right on over into your dipping bird. You might feel a lot more freedom this time as you come in. We're going to take our hands down to the mat. We're going to inhale up onto the toes and just pause there. Let's bring our heels in. We're going to drop our hips. Take a deep breath in. As you go to exhale, arms are at the ears, pulling up from the core, or you can draw your hands in. Feel yourself pressing through your heels so you can feel the glutes. Lift your head when you're ready and just let your arms come out into that diagonal position. Softly closing the eyes, softening the shoulders. We're going to do one more, trying to do just one breath at a time. So I invite you just to inhale your arms up over your head. Exhale down into your horse. When you're ready, inhale and open. Exhale, kicking the heels out, swan diving down. When you're ready, you're going to inhale right away, opening to the left as you rotate your right toes. Exhaling back in. Just find your rhythm. You're going to open to the other side. This time as you come down, you'll be inhaling up onto the toes, just long enough to bring the heels in. You'll exhale, squat down, pull your hands toward the belly and lift yourself up. Inhaling the arms straight up when you're ready. Take your time, you'll kick your heels out and you're going to be in dipping bird. So you bring the arms back. When you're ready, your heels are going to come in. You'll find yourself back into horse. So follow your rhythm. Come back when you're ready, back into your dipping bird. Your hands will come to the floor. When you're ready, you'll inhale up onto the toes. Heels will come in, squatting down as you exhale. Arms are at the ears, pushing through the heels all the way up. Let your arms just extend out. Take another deep breath in, and when you're ready, just exhale, bringing your hands to your heart. Look down at your feet and just step into your Tadasana. See that your feet are aligned. Softly close your eyes. Stack your shoulders and just let your hands float down by your body and turn your palms out. Feel your heart center open. Let your chin come to parallel. Just feel the energy in your body here. I invite you just to gently open your eyes. If you're not standing at the end of your mat, you might want to come and stand at the end. We're going to step back with our right foot in a Parsvottanasana position, so not as deep as Vira 1. So our hip bones are squared off. We're going to take our left hand to our waist and bring the right arm up. Take a deep breath in. As you go to exhale, turn your navel towards your front leg and come down as parallel as you can until you bring that hand to the outside of your leg. And when you're ready to come up, push through your back heel, engage your bandhas, come through parallel, come all the way back up again. So you're going to move in and out of that. And feel free to adjust your feet. Some of you can let your head drop all the way in when you come down, and some of you not so much. It's more challenging in your balance if you close your eyes. So you might want to keep your eyes open and your drishti focused on your knee or something like that. This third time down, pause there. Let your left hand now come down onto that leg. So you have both hands down. And remember, you can soften through your front knee if this is too tight for you. We're stretching down the right side of your back and through this left hamstring as we're balancing. So feel that core. Let your right hip move forward. The left hip draws back, pressing through the ball mount of the front toe. Now, when you go to take your next exhale, let your left hand come back to the waist where we were, and you'll inhale out. Now, if you need to bend your knee, go ahead. Otherwise, use your bandhas. Come all the way up. You're going to step back up into your Tadasana. Closing the eyes, softening the hands down alongside the body, just turning the palms gently out. Noticing the placement of your chin. And then bring your conscious attention to your left side of your body, your left leg. See if you can just lift up on your toes of both of your feet. You might even notice the energy down the right side of the body. You may feel a little off balance actually in the body. But we're going to fix that. When you're ready to exhale, step back now with your left leg back. So again, always checking your foundation so that the hip bones are forward. You're not sideways. So you need to have those hip bones forward. Let your right hand come to your hip and lift the left one. And just take a deep breath in. When you're ready to exhale, let the navel move over toward that right leg and begin to come through parallel. If you need to bend the knee, go right ahead. You'll be coming all the way back up when you're ready. Pressing through the back heel, being aware of the ball mount of the front toe, and allowing yourself to engage your move to mindfulness, being completely present. Everybody moves at a different rhythm, so when you're on your third time down, you'll be pausing down there. This time your right hand will come down to the leg as well. You're still trying to let the navel come over toward the right leg. Notice the balance on this leg compared to the other one. Is it more solid? Is it more challenging? And then just go to your breath. If it's too much, just back out or come out completely if you need to and take your Tadasana. We're going to take your next exhale. Let your hand come up to your waist. And inhale when you're ready, coming all the way back up. Activate your bandhas. You'll be stepping back into Tadasana, so take your time. Can you find that open heart feeling where your shoulder blades are like just softly drifting down your back? Your chin is softened in towards your throat. Now feel the energy through the right leg. Perhaps noticing any blood flow and stretch through the left side of the back. Might feel more balanced in the body. I invite you, when you take your next exhalation, if your eyes are closed, just open your eyes. Inhale the arms up and over your head. We're going to exhale our way down, leading with the heart center. You'll inhale part way up, and then when you go to exhale again, move yourself into downward facing dog. If you're going to skip a down dog and be in child's pose, that's fine. Find your down dog where you can soften the shoulders away from your ears. Your feet are hip bone distance apart. So we're going to take a deep breath in here and just let ourselves have an exhalation. Then when we go to inhale, we're going to lower our knees to the floor, and we're going to pull ourselves forward into that modified upward dog, pressing into the hands and lifting the chest. And then we're going to exhale back and into our downward facing dog. We're going to do that one more time, and then I'm going to invite you to choose after that next time whether you want to stay with that, and of course you can always just do table instead of coming all the way through, or if you want to come into your Tibetan ones, where we remain up on the ball mounts of our toes, the legs don't touch the floor, and we pull the chest through, and we activate the core on our way back up. So pick which one feels appropriate for you today, knowing your energy level, and see if you can do 5 more. Now I say 5, I invite you to do 5, but perhaps today it's 3. Whatever it is, when you're finished, you're going to find yourself in the child's pose. Be sure when you come into your child's pose to find a place where your shoulders can soften. If that's stacking the fists under the head or letting the arms come down alongside the body, whatever it is for your body. If your hands come down alongside the body, you can literally let your shoulders just roll forward as your head comes forward. You can also take your block and set it underneath your forehead. What I would like you to do once you find the position that's right for you is melt into the breath. Just let yourself be fully present. Every movement of the breath, and notice the space in between your eyebrows and your jaw. After you take your next exhalation, I'm going to invite you to lift yourself up. We're going to come into a seated position, Rajanushasana. So this will be the same as what we did standing. We're going to take our left leg, move my blocks out of the way, and extend it out, and take the right foot and bring it, then the left leg is straight out of your hip. So you don't want it out to the side, it's straight out. Your right foot is up towards your groin if your knee lets you. Otherwise, you place it where you need it to be based on that. And sometimes if you have a hip thing, you can place a block underneath your knee and it kind of supports it. So think about when we were standing, we were stretching down the one side of the back and the hamstring. We're going to do that deeper now in a seated position. Your left hand's just going to rest on the side. You're going to extend your right arm straight up out of your shoulder. Take an inhalation here, and as you go to exhale, turn your navel towards your leg and begin to come over that leg. Notice right down through the right side of the back. Listen to your body. You're going to end up coming all the way up. Be sure to engage your bandhas, lift your chest, don't pull up from your back, and then come up straight with the spine. Move in and out of that. Because sometimes as we find ourselves in this position, we can kind of round, sort of pull up from the lower back and round up. Think of extending the arm, the spine, and then lifting. When you find yourself coming down for the 3rd time, You're going to remain there if you can. If you feel like you're too deep, you're going to slide out a little bit. You're going to bring both hands onto your leg. And I invite you not to worry about reaching out a big distance. Let your arms just rest somewhere. This is very yin, so you're not going to force it. Just let your arms rest. Maybe your head falls in, depending on your body. And just breathe here. Relax the jaw. Feel the hollowness of the space when you take your exhalations between the pubic bone and the navel. So we're going to take another inhalation and let yourself have an exhale. We're just going to lift our chest, leave our hands down by our leg, and just slide them back until our shoulders are stacked. And just pause with your eyes closed for a minute. Let your shoulders release back. Let your chin soften in. So we're going to take now, if you'll open your eyes, your right foot that you have out and cross it over the left if you can. We're going to take our left hand and wrap it around this right knee. So you're going to turn your right knee. You're going to stretch through your outer hip as we do this. We're going to take our right hand toward our back hip if you can. Now inhale and let your chin just come to about the center of your chest. As you go to exhale, pull the belly in, just like we did when we were doing our other twist. Pull the belly in, let your head softly turn. 2 count pause, pulling the belly in a little bit deeper. And then inhale and softly release your head back to the center. And exhale, pull in from the belly. Your head is just softly turning. The firm action is coming from the core. 2 count pause. We're going to do one more like that. After you have your 2 count pause here, you're just going to gently unwind the body. All right, so we're going to take our right leg out and we're going to bring this left leg. Now, each side of the body is different, each knee, hip, so be aware. Make sure that your leg is coming straight out. You do want to try to keep your right toes up toward the ceiling, right hand's on the side of the body, left arm is lifted. Take a deep breath in. When you're ready, bring yourself over toward that right leg. Perhaps you can drop in. Notice your right knee, your right ankle. Your left knee and your left ankle, as you come down. So if it's too much, you can adjust your foot in a different position. You can not go down as far, whatever it might be. Notice down through this side of the back compared to the other side of your body. I can feel that I'm a lot tighter through my left back and hip than I was on my right. When you come down this next time, for your 3rd time, I assume you might be on that one, you're going to let both of the arms come down. Find a place of yin. In other words, you're just softening there. Just be fully present with your breath. If your mind wants to wander off, just bring it back to feeling the breath. Notice the space in between your eyebrows. Just let yourself have a nice full inhale. When you're ready, let yourself complete your exhale. When you're ready to inhale the next time, activate the bandhas, lift the chest, just slide the hands back, pausing with the shoulders stacked, eyes closed, chin softening in towards your throat. So let's open our eyes. We're going to take this left foot, cross it over the right. We'll wrap our right arm around that leg, turning toward that left leg and letting the left hand come back by the left hip. Inhale the head to the center of the chest. Activate the core. Remember that 2-count pause at the end of your exhalation, just turning the head softly, but really activating the core and gently letting the head roll back with the inhale. Once you've taken your third one and you complete that 2-count pause, you're going to unwind the body and take your time to come onto your back. Now, when you get onto your back, I'm going to invite you to take your feet as wide as your mat. Bring your ankles underneath your knees. We're going to do bridge pose with our legs wide apart just to counter stretch our forward fold. So our toes are turned out. We're tilting our pelvis back and our palms are down on the floor. The arms are down next to the body. Now just tilt that pelvis back. And when you're ready to inhale, just peel yourself one vertebrae at a time up, as high up under the shoulders as you feel comfortable. Pick up your toes and roll them in, and then bring yourself down one vertebra at a time. And of course, you'll turn your toes out when you're ready, inhaling back up. Now, when you come down your next time, take your time, feel your core. Bring your knees into your chest and then let your knees come out wide toward the armpits. We're going to come into happy baby pose. So we'll lift the feet. You can grab onto the back of the knees. You can grab onto the ankles, whatever works for you. The feet is fine, but anywhere will work. Then gently massage into your low back, just gently rocking. And even feel it up into the rib cage. You can rock as far over to the side as you feel comfortable, but keep it gentle. And you can continue with your happy baby pose, or you can come into asanas. You can rock from side to side, whatever you would like to do to complete your practice. Keeping yourself very present. I'm just going to dim my lighting. And I hope you can take time to get yourself a blanket under your knees or anything over you if you're in a cooler space. When you extend yourself out, feel your heels down on the mat, and then follow your awareness up the body, feeling each contact on the mat until you find yourself at the crown of your head. And once you do, just take a nice full inhalation and just exhale all the way down to your feet again. And as you take an inhalation, just silently say so. And as you take the exhale, hum. Feel that vibration again in the throat like we started class. Let that vagus nerve calm the body even further. And when you end up humming down the body the next time, I invite you just to let go of any control of your breath. set the intention just to witness the wave-like effect of your breath. It gently rolls into the body, and it just very gently rolls back out. Allow yourself the opportunity just to connect more fully with our true selves. There's nothing to be guarded. We don't need that protective personality here. And just sink in the present moment. And if thoughts should come into the mind, just let them float by like a cloud. Feel that feeling of ease with each exhale. And let yourself just open and expand each inhalation. Just floating your awareness to the space in between your eyebrows. Feeling that area just soften and broaden. Drifting down to the notch in your throat. Out to the tops of your shoulders. Feeling the shoulders just gently let go. And feel the safety in doing so. As you follow your next exhalation, just allow that softness to come down through the arms. You can feel your elbows let go. Your wrists can soften. Let it drift into the palms of your hands and extend out through each one of your fingers, as well as your thumbs. Just letting go of your upper body completely. And letting your conscious attention drift into the wave of your exhalation. Feeling the ease with each exhale. Just lift your awareness up to your heart center and let yourself ride the wave-like effect of your inhale. Imagine with each inhalation that is a golden, loving sunlight coming in through your heart center, filling every cell of the body. With a sense of peace, harmony, and ease. If you'll float your conscious attention up to the crown of your head again, when you feel ready to follow an exhalation, just allow a wave of calm to wash down through your body until you can just feel it wash down the front and the back of your legs and right out the soles of your feet, letting go of your body completely. Just floating with the breath and taking in the peace that resides here, the essence of who you are. It's always here, just waiting for you to pause. So as you just begin to deepen your breath, I invite you just to gently scan once again from your feet up through the body to the crown of your head. If there's any particular feeling, a word that you want to bring in, that you can build the neural pathways for the brain just by going to the breath and saying the word. And I want to share a thought with you today. It's actually out of the book, Buddha's Brain. And it kind of ties in with the mindful reflections I sent this week about being present and being good enough in the moment. And this is called being on your own side. It says it's a general moral principle that the more power you have over someone, the greater your duty is to use that power benevolently. Well, who is the one person in the world you have the greatest power over? It's your future self. You hold that life in your hands, and what it will be depends on how you care for it. It's impossible to change the past or the present. You can only accept all that as it is, but you can tend to the causes of a better future. Most of the ways you'll do this are small and humble. But to take these steps, you have to be on your own side. That may not be so easy at first. Most people bring less kindness to themselves than to others. To get on your own side, it can be helpful to make a convincing case for tending to the causes that will change your brain for the better. So listen, they're talking about changing your brain. These are perceptions. For example, please consider these two factors. And I like this one. I invite you, before you even read this, think of a child. If you have a grandchild or an infant of your own that you're around, you might reference those, but to me, almost any child, the innocence of a small child. It says, you were once a young child, just as worthy of care as any other. Can you see yourself as a child? Wouldn't you wish the best for that little person? The same is true today. You are a human being like any other, and just as deserving of happiness, love, and wisdom. Progressing along your path of awakening will make you more effective in your work and your relationships. Think about the many ways that others will benefit from you being more good-humored, warm-hearted, and savvy. Nurturing your own development isn't selfish. It's actually a great gift to other people. Because oftentimes we forget about ourselves, and our greatest gifts is oftentimes just being in that benevolent way of love and kindness and present moment. but just something to consider. I invite you to stay where you are if you would like to. You can always just reach over and shut off the video or just relax until we're off. Or bring yourself on up into a centering position. Feel your shoulders stack over your hips. Let your eyes close once again. Let yourself have a nice slow exhalation, just noticing how you feel physically, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. If you will, let's just lift those arms back up till the hands come together in Anjali Mudra. We're going to lower down to the forehead to remind us of those mindful thoughts, and at our mouth for mindful words, and our heart center for mindful actions. Namaste. Thank you, thank you, thank you.